So we all know that one person that complains about everything. Everything that happens in their life, nothing is ever their fault. Anything that happens, the weather, they might lose their job, they might fall, break their ankle, whatever happens, nothing is ever their fault. That person might be a good friend of yours, that person might be a family member, might be a neighbor, might be a coworker, might even be you. Our society seems to think in general that being the victim is okay, but it's not. It's not productive for you as an individual, and it's also not productive for society as a whole. Author Stephen Covey, in The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, published in 2004, writes, and I quote, "Wherever you find a problem, you will usually find the finger pointing of blame. Society is addicted to playing the victim." End quote. We like to play if only. If only I were prettier. If only I were smarter. If only I were taller. When we do that, we're blaming whatever those circumstances are for our issues instead of taking responsibility for those issues. So whenever he goes on to say, "Show me someone who is humble enough to accept and take responsibility for his or her circumstances and courageous enough to take whatever initiative is necessary to creatively work his or her way through or around these challenges, and I will show you the supreme power of choice." When we stop blaming, we realize that we have a choice, and that choice is the most powerful thing of all. Turn the focus inward. That's how you get one step closer to the life that you want to live. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, yet expecting different results. We do the same thing with thoughts. We just don't realize that. Resolution always begins within. We have these same thoughts, and we keep making these same choices, yet we expect different results. And we get upset when the same things keep happening, but then we continue to make the same choices. So think about it. If you knew that you had complete control over the rest of your life, what would you change? What would you do differently? I'm going to share with you how you can start working toward that life that you want today. One thought at a time, and that's by taking full responsibility for everything in your life. Remove blame. Blaming others, it pacifies our egos for a short time, right? Feels okay, feels better. It's not our fault. But at what cost? Let's take a good look at blame. I mean, it lets us off the hook for a minute, right? Let's just say, I'm overweight. Well, I'm overweight because my parents were overweight. It was predetermined. It was destiny. I mean, it was meant to be. Sounds like a valid example, but it's not. In reality, I'm overweight because I made poor eating choices. Don't eat enough fruits and vegetables, don't get enough regular exercise, and I don't eat frequently enough. So there are some valid reasons that things could happen. For example, you might get laid off. The economy could be really poor. You could turn that around and say, my boss doesn't like me. The company, there's a conspiracy against me. But even with that valid reason of the economy being poor, what good does it do to dwell on it or talk about it? How does that help the situation? Instead of thinking about that, focus your time and attention on what you can do to improve your situation. What action can you take to make things better now? So excuses and blame aren't working, right? That's just a downward spiral of negative feelings. Author and speaker Brian Tracy, in his 2010 book Goals, How to Get Everything You Want Faster Than You Ever Thought Possible, states, and I quote, "The fourth cause of negative emotions," let me pause right here, this is after the other three are justification, excuses and rationalization, and opinions of others. Okay, so back to the quote, "The fourth cause of negative emotions, the worst of all, is blaming. When I draw the negative emotions tree in my seminars, I illustrate the trunk of the tree as the propensity to blame other people for our problems. Once you cut down the trunk of the tree, all the fruits of the tree, all the other negative emotions, die immediately, just as the lights go out on a Christmas tree when you jerk the plug out of the socket. The antidote for negative emotions of all kinds is for you to accept complete responsibility for your situation. You cannot say the words, 'I am responsible,' and still feel angry. The very act of accepting responsibility short circuits and cancels out any negative emotions you may be experiencing. Know yourself, be honest and completely in this. This is step one, right? It's not comfortable, but it's necessary. In the 5 levels of leadership, in 2011, John Maxwell discusses how to be more likable to become a better leader. He says that you have to like people. So one way to do that is to discover what you like about yourself. What's likable about you. And then do what you can to share that with every person you meet. It's contagious. And also, you look at every person you meet and try to find something you like about them. Works both ways. He also says that who you are is what you attract. So if you want to change your team, change yourself. Everything that we do and everybody that we are around is a reflection of what's going on in our life at that time. Take stock of your thoughts. Life coach Cindy Holbrook recommends keeping a journal of your frequent thoughts and revisiting those often. Alex Wickerman, MD, in The Undefeated Mind, 2012. In his book, he basically says that the way we think about things, whether it's pessimistic or optimistic, has a great impact on what we do. For example, if you say, oh, I'm a bad test taker, and you fail your math test, and then you just keep thinking, well, I failed because I'm a bad test taker. Then when you go to retake that test, and you do poorly again, that just reaffirms what you told yourself, I'm a bad test taker. In reality, if you didn't tell yourself that, you might actually study better and absorb the information and gotten a better grade. So studying and preparing, that can yield different results. So for this final piece, how we use the knowledge of who we are and what we think, that changed our life circumstances and how we react differently to others. Mary Allen, the author of The Power of the Inner Choice, this lovely book right here, in 2005, said once there is an acceptance, there is a power available to consciously choose. In other words, stop wasting time and energy complaining or wishing a problem didn't exist. Instead, take the facts at face value, don't let your emotions cloud your judgment, make a decision and proceed. Ask the questions to keep things in perspective. Be aware. What am I choosing right now? What am I doing right now? And make that statement. I'm responsible. Figure that out. What choice you make does have a great impact on everything. I'm going to leave you with one final thought, and that is that it all starts and ends with you. As the great Vincent van Gogh wrote, or stated rather, great things are not done by impulse, but by a series of small things brought together. One step at a time, one thought at a time. You can and will change your life. Thank you for listening.